All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'd like to welcome you to this stream. This is your host, DJ Just Jay, with Just Dimes ENT, the host of the Soto podcast, the AFC. We advocate for children first. I don't even know why we're doing this story. This is a crazy story. It's actually relatively short, but how they got there is extremely important. We're getting ready to talk about this woman that was arrested. We don't know fully whether she was the person responsible, but at this point, they've arrested one person and have other people being held in the questioning point at this phase. All right. Now, on July 24th, this was just 2 days ago, so this is brand new. The Athens-Clarke County Police Department investigators arrested a woman by the name of Kiresa Cooper, who is a 27-year-old Athens, Georgia resident. Okay. Now, let me see if I can make sure and get her picture on the screen so you guys can know exactly who I'm talking about. This person right here. And I got to tell you, this is eerie for me because of the fact that you look at this and this is her mugshot. I'm always examining the black community and I look at us and I try to figure out where we're going wrong. Why do we always end up having these issues? And I got to say two things. First and foremost, I am disgusted at this photo. But at the same time, I kind of like this photo. Does that even make any sense to anybody? I'm disgusted at this photo, but yet I like this photo for two reasons. First and foremost, let me tell you why I like this photo. This woman has a great smile. She's the one arrested in this situation, and I'm going to just tell you, she's not ugly. She has a great smile. Okay? So let me throw that part out there. Here's the second part. Why is she smiling in a mugshot after knowing what she was arrested for, knowing that what she's accused of is shooting a gun that caused a mother to be shot and killed and the mother's unborn child that she was pregnant with to be hit and killed. Hope you guys kind of understand that. I think it's weird to be smiling in mugshots. That's not a happy time. And I think that's indicative of the fact that I just don't believe that people really care for the things that they are accused of or guilty of. But she is arrested at this point for the murder of Auriel Callaway. Let me see if I can get Auriel's picture on the screen with her and her child right here. And I'm going to tell you guys this, the same as I just said about the other woman. This is the victim, and Auriel has a beautiful smile, man. Beautiful little boy. She has a beautiful smile, white teeth, like her smile looks like it just lights up the room, like it illuminates the room. And the crazy thing about this is that all of this violence is basically around black women. Our queens, even more so. Reason why this is detrimental is because of the fact that most of these black women are mothers. So if the fathers are not around and if they lose the mothers, then what do you think is going to happen to the kids? Let's move on. Let's go ahead and move on. There was a shooting that broke out in Athens, Georgia around 9:37 p.m. I'll repeat. There was a shooting that broke out at 9:37 p.m. at Clark Gardens Apartments Complex in Athens, according to the police. Now, Auriel Callaway, again, the woman that was shot and killed, Auriel was 4 months pregnant. Auriel was 4 months pregnant. I want you guys to understand that the little boy that she was holding was the son that she already had. So she was about to be a mother of two. There's a lot to this. We're going to unpack it. So let me just tell you the story. And she was a resident of the apartment complex in Athens-Clarke County Police Department. This is coming from spokesman Jeff Gillian. Gillian said that multiple individuals, and this was at the press conference, he said multiple individuals have been detained in the case for investigative purposes. So there are multiple people that are being held and detained in investigative purposes. That doesn't mean that anybody else has been necessarily linked. They're just asking a lot of questions at this point. In total, 8, count them, 8 people have been taken into custody for questioning about the shooting, and they have since been released with no charges filed. So they're just trying to do their due diligence at this point. By the way, this is Auriel's mother, and I believe that the gentleman that you saw in the previous photo is Auriel's father, but I do not know that for a fact. That could just be her boyfriend or husband. I'm not really sure. Y'all know how that goes. Let's keep going. He noted that those detained were not necessarily suspects, okay, but could also be witnesses or people of interest. Jermaine Arnold, who knew Callaway, Auriel Callaway, and said that she witnesses the shooting and remember her as a beautiful soul. She really wasn't out here much, and God took her away from us too early, Arnold said. So apparently she doesn't really hang out and kick it that often, nor do I believe that mothers should, okay? Now, Kiresa Cooper was booked for 1 count of aggravated assault and 1 count of felony murder as she was arrested in Cobb County and transported to the Clarke County Jail, according to the ACCPD news release. According to the release, Callaway was an innocent bystander. You guys catch that? I work with her mama. Do you really? Keesley, do you want to call in? And Keesley L, do you want to call in and maybe kind of give us a little more insight? If you do, let me know, and I'll be willing to put a number out there that you can contact me and talk to us live on the show. If you're willing to do that, if you are, let me know. If not, I understand. Like, I don't want you to feel any pressure, but I definitely want to talk to people that are familiar with this story, okay? But just let me know what you think. Callaway was an innocent bystander in a fight between 2 groups that escalated to gunfire in Carriage Court. Callaway was shot after attempting to move her child to safety. ACCPD investigators do not believe Callaway was intentionally targeted. But then again, when you have our people and we have no type of weapons training and we get to shooting, as the people of Chicago know, Southside Chicago, that those bullets don't have any name and they tend to just fly at whoever they hit. Okay? Now, when Callaway heard the shots, Walker says she grabbed her son and tried to make it safely into her apartment. Then she was hit by a stray bullet and she collapsed. She said, "I'm fitting to go, y'all. I'm taking my baby in the house." She made it right before the gunshots fired, Walker said. And guys, I'm not making that up. That is exactly what it says. As you guys know, when they say fitting to go, they mean fixing to go. Y'all know that's our hood slang. So when the officers arrived at the scene, they performed procedures on Callaway to try to save her life, and EMS transported Callaway to the local hospital, and then she was pronounced dead at that point. Now here's the even more tragic portion. Callaway's unborn child did not survive. This is a reckless act of violence that took the life of a young mother in her prime as well as her unborn child. Chief of Police Cleveland Spruill said in a statement, such senseless violence shall not be tolerated, and all of our investigative resources and tools were brought to bear to locate and apprehend the suspect. Now, according to a release, ACCPD's investigation was aided by the community, which came forward with details about the incident, and anybody else who has information, the number to Athens-Clarke County Police Department is 706-613-3330. Again, it's 706-613-3330. Okay? Now, I'm going to say some things that are probably going to upset some people, but before I do that, let me give you guys the fair usage, and I'm going to let you guys take a look at some of these news videos before I really give my take on this, okay? So I think that's fair, but you have been warned. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107. Thank you to the people that have already clicked the thumbs up. For everybody else, if you've not already done so, please click that thumbs up. It'll share this stream and let everybody know that we're telling the story of Auriel Callaway, her unborn child, as well as the son that she has left behind. So please click that thumbs up. Thank you, guys.
Number 24.
Auriel Callaway was about 4 months pregnant when a terrible situation Monday night ended her life and took the life of her unborn child.
And my sister was on her way home. She was walking home.
Witnesses say some kids were arguing in the Clarke Gardens apartment complex on Carriage Court. Adults got involved and someone started shooting Monday night around 9:30. When Auriel heard the shots, she grabbed her 3-year-old son Mason and tried to make it safely into her apartment.
She said, I'm finna go, y'all. I'm finna take my baby in the house. And she made it right here before the gunshots fired.
We first told you on Channel 2 Action News this morning, at least one shot hit her and she collapsed. She was transported to a nearby hospital where she later died. Her sister says the whole thing was just ridiculous because her sister did not get involved with any nonsense.
She was beautiful. She had a heart of gold. She'll give when she didn't have it. All she cared about was her son.
Now the family wants police to figure out who fired that deadly shot because they want justice.
Somebody gonna pay for this.
Clark County police arrest a woman in the tragic shooting death of a young mother and her unborn child. Officers say the victim, 24-year-old Auriel Callaway, was standing outside at the Clarke Gardens apartments on Monday night when a fight broke out and someone started shooting. According to police, Callaway, who was pregnant, tried to shield her 3-year-old son from the bullets and was struck herself. Both she and her unborn baby died.
I cannot think of a more tragic circumstance than for an innocent young mother to be gunned down in front of her residence while her young child looked on.
Now, late Wednesday, police arrested Kiresa Cooper and charged her with aggravated assault and felony murder. Authorities say the investigation remains open as they work to identify all of the people involved in that fight.
And loved ones say news of the arrest is bittersweet as they mourn Callaway's sudden death.
And that is a lot of people out there. That is a lot of support that she got out there. I mean, I think it's a good show of support. Let me say that.
Family and friends gathered in Athens tonight to remember the young mother whose life was taken too soon.
Fox 5's Laura Neal is live in Athens tonight. And Laura, the family says justice will be served, but that's not what tonight was about.
Tonight was all about love. There were so many people, hundreds and hundreds of people gathered to participate in this vigil. And those close to Auriel Callaway, they called her Thumper or Thump, and they all came out in droves to love on that family. And the family says they appreciate all the support they've gotten tonight and this entire week.
And I just appreciate everybody coming out here. I know Thumper probably looking down and said, Mama, look at all these people that love me. And I just want to appreciate y'all for coming to support my child today. And I thank y'all so much. Okay. Lord, I can't.
Families surrounded the grieving mother during the vigil. Hundreds showed up with balloons, candles, and flowers to honor a young woman they all called the life of the party. The family says they're deeply touched by how many people came out to celebrate Thump's life.
And I thank everybody. I thank everybody for showing us this support because we really need it right now. We really, really need it right now, especially my mom. I've been trying to stay strong for my mom.
Kira Rucker spoke to us as her nephew clung to her side. Mason, 3 years old, watched his mother get shot and killed as she shielded him from gunfire on Monday.
If you have a balloon, at this time, you can release your balloon and know that your balloons are being released with peace.
Notice how many women are out there and no men. Barely any men out there at all.
Favor and grace.
A lot of grown women and boys and children. That's the narrative.
Now the family calls for...
Look at that. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of women out there. That is a lot of women out there. Kids, young boys, and grown women.
For an end to senseless gun violence that took 24-year-old Auriel Callaway and her unborn child too soon.
I just want everybody to stop the gun violence. I lost my sister being shot. And just being right there, it's like you said, it's a tragedy. It's tragic. It's sad. My nephew got to grow up without his mother.
Of Miss Callaway was Miss Cooper.
Have you arrested her before?
She has a minor criminal history record, but nothing serious. Okay?
So will there be more arrests of the other people who participate in this fight, like the other shooter? If they arrest, what are they going to be charged with?
Our intention is to identify every individual that played a part in this and any criminal act that they participated in to try to have them charged and prosecuted to the fullest. Okay, I'm sorry. Yes, sir.
Chief, was this gang related?
There's nothing that suggested this was gang related. That's not anything. We didn't get any evidence to suggest that it's gang related. Okay.
So were these just these are a group of kids, I mean, under a certain age that was just fighting like probably kids usually do? And did adults get involved? How did this get out of hand like this?
So I don't know the exact ages of the kids. I would put them in their teens. And what I can say is that, you know, shoving or talking back and forth is one thing, but what I saw went beyond that. And yes, obviously adults did get involved, and that's when the gun play took place. I'll take one more question.
You said what you saw. Does that mean you saw video of the fight?
As I explained earlier, there is some video of the fight, yes.
Do anyone in the family would like to say anything?
First of all, we just want to thank the Athens-Clarke County Police Department for a swift investigation and trying to bring this to a close. But we understand that this investigation is still going on. It's going to be a continual ongoing investigation. So we would just like to ask the public, anyone out there that has any more information that could assist them in their investigation to help provide, progress this investigation along, please reveal the information to the police department. In this world of social media, everybody has a phone, everything you see, everybody recording everything. So there has to be some type of more video to help them with this evidence and this whole investigation. So we just like to ask the public if you have any information that can assist them to continue this investigation, to try to bring it to a swift closure. We would like you to provide the information to the police department.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
A lot of people know you from what you do for a living.
Yes, ma'am.
We all know that this violence with young people and adults is getting out of hand. Can you just talk a little bit about how this hits home for you? This is your family, this is your community you work in, you live in.
Being a product of Athens, Georgia, growing up on the east side, it hits home because growing up, you see all the changes, all the stuff that's happening in Athens, all the violence going on, not only in the world, but just here in our community. So it hurts to see this environment turn into what it is. So we just like, we can just come together as not as a world, just as a unit. We got to start somewhere. So we want to start at home first. If we can start at home, just try to stop the violence at home, then maybe it'll trickle out throughout.
Uh-oh. Did you guys just hear what he just said? He said you have to stop the violence where? What does the AFC stand for? I've been telling you guys that they have to fix these problems at home. Been saying that. I'm glad that this black man, said that. Glad he said that.
A little bit about how this hits home for you. This is your family, this is your community you work in, you live in.
Being a product of Athens, Georgia, growing up on the east side, it hits home because growing up, you see all the changes, all the stuff that's happening in Athens, all the violence going on, not only in the world, but just here in our community. So it hurts to see this environment turn into what it is. So we just like, we can just come together as not as a world, just as a unit. We got to start somewhere. So we want to start at home first. If we can start at home, just try to stop the violence at home, then maybe it'll trickle out throughout the country, throughout the nation, You know, it's going to be a long process, but if we could just start here at home in Athens first to try to just stop the violence and just get along with everybody, because a lot of the stuff that happened is really senseless and uncalled for and could be avoided, you know. So we just want to try to, you know, start somewhere and just kind of stop the violence and just get along with everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
A lot of the same things that he said, the stuff that I've said, but that's why you need more fathers and more men out there. Just saying. That's pretty much the end of the video. Yeah, that is the end of the video. So let me give my closing thoughts about this. I'm going to let a few more of these pictures run. Let you guys take a look at some more of these photos. Again, I think the show of support was a great thing. You know, all the people that came out, however they got there, I thought that was an amazing show of support. I thought it was an amazing show of support, especially even though there's a bunch of women out there. And I think that that's also indicative of the fact that I say that we don't have enough fathers and we don't have enough men in the community. You know, number one, to stabilize all of these unstable emotions and these thought processes. And that stuff has got to start at home. We have to start creating balance at home. The yin and the yang, the push and the pull has to start at home. Okay. First and foremost, the first thing that I was thinking was, why was she out there with her young son to begin with at that time of night? I don't think that you need to just be outside at that time of night. 9 o'clock at night is not a good time to be out at night. Number two, if they were indeed out watching a fight, I don't know if they were, if they weren't, but if they were, we've seen videos on my channel. I want you guys to go back 1 or 2 videos and look at my video. Like, we just crossed, I think, over like we just had another video go over like 20,000 views, which is pretty dope. But go back and watch that video and you guys will see a bunch of women and a bunch of kids. A bunch of women and a bunch of kids with no man in sight, no male leadership, no male dictation, nothing like that. And that's the thing that continues to happen, is the fact that, number one, a lot of our women are not holding other women accountable. They're just letting everybody please do whatever it is that they do and all of that stuff. But I think that it could change really, really quick if, number one, women start holding themselves accountable. Number two, we need to start creating families. And the fact that this girl has, like, what looked like a 3-year-old son. Let me see if I can go to that photo before we wrap up. That little boy on the right side of that picture looks like he's about 2 or 3 years old. And she's already pregnant with another kid. One thing that you did not see is you did not see the fathers of those kids come out and speak. I don't know if those fathers are around, but I definitely hope that the father of the 3-year-old boy, you know, is able to participate in his life now. I don't know if that was by choice or if that was by design based on what him and the mother had going on. I have no idea. And then the fact that she lost her unborn child, and we don't hear any mentions, nor did I see any pictures of a man in her life on her social media. Pictures speak 1,000 words. They really do. And we know that this narrative plays out a lot. And this is the woman that is responsible at this point that they're pointing the finger at. Again, her name is Kiresa Cooper. Now, like I said, you know, these type of people, you know, they perpetuate this violence. They don't see anything wrong with it because nobody can tell them that nothing that they do is wrong. This is actually a photo that I found on Kiresa Cooper's social media. That photo. I want you guys to think about that. That's the picture that she has on Kiresa Cooper, the one who was arrested, social media. That photo right there. She might have somebody take the photo down. Maybe she might disable her account. But nonetheless, it's there. I got it. I found it. And I'm going to put it out there and let you guys know that's what I found on her social media. Another thing is how this woman is going to be remembered. This woman right here. They said about her, she was the life of the party. That's how they described Auriel Callaway, who was only 24 years old. They described that beautiful girl right there as the life of the party. And I think that whenever people tell the story of our lives, when we're writing the story of our lives in our life books, every day that we're writing something in that story, I believe that we need to write the things in that book and live our lives in accordance to what we want people to remember about us and people to say about us and the things that I want people to speak about us. That's part of the reason why I do what I do. But I don't think being known as the life of the party is something to be reputable. I don't think that's something you want your kids to grow up and become, okay? Now, another person in my chat earlier asked, where are the men at? The fact that she was pregnant and you don't hear anything about the baby daddies. I think I've already addressed that. I think that that's sad. And if they are around and maybe we just don't know it, maybe she just didn't want to put it on social media, it would be nice to see them step up, okay? Now, lastly, why was the child out there to begin with, and why was she pregnant outside around that element? I think that sometimes we become so numb to the things that we see and do every day. Every day we see videos of people just fighting and everybody doing nothing but standing around recording. But the people that are getting their behinds kicked or the ones that are on the losing end are generally going to retaliate. That means that there are going to be some innocent people that are going to feel the wrath of that. And in this case, there was a young woman, Auriel Callaway, who lost her life as well as put her own son in danger as well as her unborn kid in danger and caused that kid to lose his life as well. I think it's sad, but we want to use these stories as cautionary tales to say that as mothers, if you're going to bring children into this world, there has to be an elevated level of thinking and responsibility. That's it. We want to take this and learn from it. We don't want to disparage anybody in the story, and we definitely don't want anybody in the family to be upset behind anything that I've said, because I know that they have a lot that they have to deal with, okay? But nonetheless, as far as Kiresa Cooper, I think it's eerie the fact that that woman was smiling in her mugshot. Like, I'm sorry, but I don't like that in any shape, form, or fashion. I think that's... It just, to me, it shows that she must not really care. And that's the type of thing that has to change, is we have to start caring in the Black community. We have to start advocating for the children first. Our first thought should be about the children. Let's go back to this photo. Our first thought should have been about this kid. Our second thought should have been about the kid that was inside of her body. Lastly, should have been anything that she wanted to do. Because those children cannot make decisions for themselves. They cannot speak for themselves, nor can they defend themselves. They depend on us for everything that we get. We are going to continue to advocate for children first. We are the AFC. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. I'm signing out. Prayer hands up. And I'm sorry that Auriel Callaway, as well as her unborn baby, lost their life. And I hope that somebody takes care, or especially the father or someone takes good care of her surviving son, and that I hope that he thrives and becomes something great, something better than what's in his element. Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening. That's the end of the stream. Thank you guys. And if y'all need anything from me, just email me. Email address is right here, thesotopodcast@gmail.com. And we'll talk to you guys later on the next story. Peace.